Adam Niffen. And I'm Jeremy Cocaine. This is Smith Welding Restoration. That's what we do. That's what we do. We make things right.
Alright, you got Smith Welding Restoration. This is Adam. Let's take a look at kind of the purpose for what I'm doing today. Truck cab on a fucking pallet. How do you work with that? You don't. Our goal now is we got to make a dolly for it, right? So I looked around. I had some ideas in my head. My preconceived notions were basically wrong. Alright, so I spent an hour today getting pieces cut up. It's kind of what we got going on. That was a bad idea. I'm discarding that. Alright, so what? That's still warm. And it doesn't take me very long to look at it. So this is basically what we're dealing with. I got this nice and square. It's in good shape. Alright, so these are all the parts that go into this dolly. Let's see if I can get enough of these burn marks. Okay. So most of your pre-made dollies have these saddles. And they actually stick right to, here's your caster, here's the upright, and here's a short arm. If you look at this, it's got a long arm like 18 inches, and then it's got a short arm like 6 inches. What that does is allow you to have a bar that slides in or over this, and you build 4 of them to give you different dimensions. So it's adjustable. Well, the ones I was looking at, they didn't appear to be able to move these. They were one way or the other way, and that's all you fucking got. So I made these drop-ins, so as this thing evolves, I can actually build other pedestals for like pinch welds, shit like that. So that's really, you got a caster, a plate, a piece of 1 3/4 tubing. This can be thinner wall because all of its weight is downward pressure, gravity pressure. This is a little heavier because it's actually supporting the structure. This is 14, this is 11 gauge. This will be 11 gauge just because it's what I had on hand, and it slides down to my tube. This will be 1/4 inch, 3 inch tubing. I'm just going to section in half. So that's pretty much what I've got. So I'd have 4 of those, which would be this arm, 4 of those, which is 18, 4 casters, 4 plates. These are 6 inches and these are 6 inches here. So I had 8 of those total. So that's kind of what we're looking at. Sorry for the burn marks. I had it next to my cutoff saw. So that's what we've got. We've got a short arm that'll come out here. I split the difference. Caster down here, other thing up here, for stability's sake. I don't want it that far off the ground. Now if there comes a time that I need it to be taller, I can build other arms that aren't 6 inches, and they'll stick up out of there because they'll come down here and they'll lay on that plate that I've got up against there, which I'm using. Actually, it was box tube. I'll be using 3/16 box tube for my caster plate, so it'll just bump into that. So it's not a big deal. I can build as high as I want and as low as I want, down to there's 8. This is 5 1/4, so you got 13 1/4. 13 1/2 off the ground will be the bottom of the cab. I am taking measures to make sure this is square to representation to this. This isn't twisted. That matters a whole lot of nothing, but the truer you can build your jigs and your racks, the easier your life will be later over here. If we needed this straight, square, plumb, everything else, I'd build a rack. It sits on the floor and doesn't move, and build it there. But we're not cutting it apart. This is our tubing. I'll go ahead and weld this on here. I'll probably weld both of them on each side, and then I'll split the tube, which will give me, I can vise this up and then split the tube. That's where we're at there. These are the uprights for the legs. Our casters are there. What I'm building is a very simple apparatus that has a bajillion shop uses. I will probably have to go get 4 more casters to build a dolly for the pickup box here soon. Pardon me, I'm getting some water. So we'll check back in. I'll show you what I've got going on. don't know how elaborate specifically I'll get, but this, you know, like all of my shop fixtures, they evolve and get added to over time. But this is what we have to have today to get that box where we can move it, because I need to get Scarlett in the booth for slick sand. Alright, so this is your automotive dolly. Oops, I just melted my blasted. I just welded those on. You can yell at me if you want. I'll cut them off if they foul up. I think they're 175, 150 pound casters. It's enough to hold, especially a pickup cab. We'll make them all identical, because when you turn the corner, if you make them identical as you turn the corners, they'll complement each other. The tube slides over, and this part is removable and still warm. See, now that can sit up this way or this way, and you can change all four of them. So that's how I'm building a body dolly, and why. That gets it up off the ground far enough we can actually work up under rocker panels and such. So all those pieces and parts, I gotta finish assembling them. I got a little booger there from a weld, but also my welds came out very pretty. You get it all bolted together, man. You got a stalwart body dolly. Alright, there we go. We've got two locking casters. This is a long arm, so it can adjust. That one's a long arm. Anyhow, these come out, so you can drop different ones in there. Bolts, so it tightens it down. Nice and sturdy little frame is what that is. I got little 1/4 inch pedestals, a 3/16 inch plate down there for the pedestal for the wheel to go on. It's all welded construction. Only nuts and bolts we have is for the adjusting. Now it might actually be a little too long this way for this cab, so that's kind of a piss on me, but so that's what took me about half a day to build. Even for our shop rate and everything else, it was less than buying one to do what I needed with material. So I suppose that leaves us on good footing. I'm not going to paint that one up. If somebody wants me to build them for them, I'll finish them and dress the welds a little better and paint them. But we're going to get this truck up on a dolly. Talk to you later. Wow, made it in a video. Thanks for checking in. Come back for the next one. See what the hell we're doing next time. Subscribe, comment. Find us on over on the Facebook, Smith Welding Restoration LLC on Facebook. Numbers at the beginning. If you have any questions, call.